Hello YouTube, Model Train 9500. This is part 3 of uses for this extruded foam stuff. So I got the pieces cut out, I found the sandpaper, and I sanded them to a similar profile, and I glued them down right next to each other. This end turned out to be a little bit longer, but that's not a big deal, because right here, this part is more elevated than this part here. Not by much, but it'll work out just fine. So the next step once you use this foam stuff, if you're gonna, like for this purpose, this part, not purpose, but I'm gonna use the boards here to form kind of like the backdrop of these wooden sheets here, except this is a lot lighter and a lot easier to work with. And I'll just drag the plaster cloth down to here. So what you're gonna do first is make some newspaper balls, and it's pretty simple. You just want to crumple these up and then tape them at the middle, although there is a certain way that it works best. If you work going in, like work towards the center, see here, it's that way. The top is kind of smooth, it makes it easier to stack. So once you've done that, just set these paper balls where you want them to be. Don't be afraid to wedge them in a little bit. And then once you have those in, you want to take some plaster cloth. I use Woodland Scenics, although I'm sure there's a bunch of other companies out. Once you get those on, you want to get some tape right here and tape them down. So let me set this right here and see if I can tape this. So like I said, get your tape and whoops. There you go. I start up at the top, that way you can work down, and I think it just turns out it's a little bit easier, I think. Could be wrong, well that's just my personal opinion. Just make sure those newspaper balls don't go anywhere. So you want to just get the tape on here, make sure those newspaper balls don't go anywhere. One more on here. Alright, so you got that taped down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to get your plaster cloth, and you're going to cut it along mandibles. I usually use squares, but get about, like, I don't know, this would be probably about 10 by 10 inches. So cut a 10 by 10 inch square. Set this right here. Or whatever square size you want to use. I'll just take this. Like this. And then you're going to dip it in the water. I have my water right down there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. And take the plaster cloth. Put it in the water. I don't know if this is the case for all of them, but on Woodland Scenics plaster cloth, you want the bumpy side to go up. And then set it up on top, overlapping by about 1/3 to 1/2. And just smooth it out. Just like that. and then get another piece about the same size. And again, overlap it. I overlap about a half just because I'm kind of rough on trains and the layout and stuff. And when you use a half, it'll make your shell be a bit stronger. But also, I think using, like, if you overlap a half with each sheet, it looks a little bit nicer because there's holes in the middle of the plastic cloth, and when there aren't any holes, the terrain just looks a bit nicer. And then what I'm going to do here, instead of going long, I'm going to cut a long sheet to connect down here. So a long, thinner piece. Like this. I'll just lay it across like that. There's that. So that looks pretty good. And let's see. I can get one more in here. So it's pretty much just simple use of plaster cloth. And this sheet I'll lay right down in here. If you get a wrinkle in it, which will happen as you get more experience with using plastic cloth, it should happen less, although it still happens to everyone. If the plastic cloth wrinkles a little bit when you put it down, that's okay. Just work with it. It'll turn out alright. And if you find it not working to fix the wrinkle, it's no big deal. It's just not a big problem. Alright, so let's see here. I'm going to make another newspaper ball to, well, actually, I think that's pretty good. I'll continue on with more of that. But that's the idea. And then, so there we got the new plastic. You can see it's darker right here where it's new. See right there, it's hard. Here it's still drying, and that'll dry in about a half hour to an hour. And then you can go to the next step and see how it works for you. So thank you for watching, and look for part, I guess what would that be, 4, and we'll go over making this into scenery and making it look pretty good. So thank you for watching, and look for more videos in the future.